Barry O'Mahony is the 2013 winner of the Financial Planner of the Year. He is the founder of Veritas Wealth Management, has a degree in economics and a national diploma in business administration. Barry, firstly, congratulations on your win, and tell us, how does it feel to win and how did you get to this point?
Thanks very much. Yeah, no, we're over the moon. We're so delighted. Yeah, we worked very hard at it. We actually took a 16-month run at it, at the competition. By the time it's now ended. So what we did is, as we went to conferences, we picked up on different things and then we used that immediately. So normally you go to a conference, you kind of go home, go, that's a great idea, and do nothing about it. We did the opposite. Every time we found something. So we came across a business called Clarity Communications, and that was about using simple English. So we took our financial plans, all the communications like emails and whatever, and we handed those to Clarity, and they just tore it apart and handed it back to us. And then they trained us, in all the staff, in how to deal with that. We you redo your website. We did a lot of work on practice development, a huge amount. We got practice development coaches to come in and help us. And yeah, so we just kept building all the way along. So when the competition actually came, because it comes quite quickly, once you get through the first round, you don't have much time then. So we were ready, and it's a very healthy exercise. I think it's something that, one of my other colleagues will enter it maybe in 4 years from now, because you literally take out the polish and you start shining. And in business you don't quite get around to polishing things unless someone's coming to visit. If the mother-in-law is coming to stay, well, you better go and fix it up quickly.
Well, I mean, we heard today just how important it is that, businesses stay on top of their game in a very different and dynamic world.
Yes.
To what it was, certainly even when you founded Veritas in 2004. We're in a different world today. We've come through 2008. What is Veritas doing in this environment to stay competitive, to stay on top of its game, and most importantly, to keep adding value to its clients?
We keep it very simple. And we have moved. We've moved from being investment advisors in our own minds to being more generalist financial planners. And there's a lot of people miss the point that there's a lot of work to be done in the general space. But what we've also done is, again, going to different conferences and trying to continually evolve as we went along. Around 6 or 7 years ago, I went on a Lifeline course because Graham Codrington was just speaking about technology and all the changes, and you have to stay on top of that. And we're doing those to an extent. But what he also got to was, what you can't systematize is the human touch. So one of the things was, my background was I was a rugby coach. I used to coach ECT rugby team, but a rugby coach talks at you. And a financial planner tries to impress people rather than being impressed by the people. So I went off and did Lifeline to learn how to ask good questions and stop giving good answers. And then from there, at the FPI convention around 3 or 4 years ago, John Campbell, who was the financial planner of the year that year, got Mitch Anthony to come out from the US. And that was a huge moment for us. So we grabbed the Mitch Anthony stuff, it's called life planning. And what that does is it teaches us questions and conversations to have with clients again. So rather than having answers, we just steer the things. I've been waiting to find a life coaching course to do, but I mean, they cost between 80,000 and 120,000 Rand to do them. But I've come across one cheaper now, and sometime in the next year, I don't know if we'll have time this year, but I'll start doing life coaching. So it's all developing better conversations, but it's actually about better questions and then the people. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to give money meaning. That's basically what we're trying to do.
It's a nice catchphrase to take home. You mentioned all the conferences that you've been to. This year's convention, what was your personal highlight?
Look, Jonathan Jansen is my he's a bit of a hero for me. I don't follow many people on Twitter, but I follow him. I enjoy him, and Graham Codrington was also it was fascinating to see like how the world has evolved and will continue to evolve. And I thought just in general all of the talks were actually very good. There was some very good technical debates that took place in the industry, in the press. There was all this thing about guaranteed annuities versus living annuities, and the press, I felt at the time, and Treasury just got it wrong. And just were slamming advisors all over the place, and I just felt that was unfair and it wasn't a balanced argument, whereas two actuarial scientists got up there and actually had a proper debate about it and said actually it's all about balance. The answer is not, it's not A or B, it's probably A plus B is going to be the answer in the end. So that was a very healthy debate, and it's just interesting to, when you look through, for the general public, to be looking through a prism of newspapers or magazines, it's to get that balance right and to research it properly and not be emotive. So yeah, so it was a very good conference.